Peter Galbraith is a former ambassador to Croatia and has traveled to Iraq numerous times over more than 2 decades. He is the author of The End of Iraq and Unintended Consequences.
Paul and I grew up in the 50s in the McCarthy era, and there's a piece of this that looks unpleasantly familiar, which is the Who Lost China analog. That argument, that discussion, that finger pointing went on for a decade and a half, and we're still dealing with some of the consequences of it. And we are, as you describe it, and it seems perfectly plausible, about to step into another one of these discussions.
Well, don't forget who lost Vietnam.
Yeah, which is the Who Lost Iraq. And you say out front, unequivocally, George W. Bush lost Iraq, and that to engage in the kind of finger pointing that will probably occur over the next months and years is disingenuous at best and dishonest at worst.
Precisely because of the point you raised, Bill, about the Who Lost China debate and what shaped my consciousness, the Who Lost Vietnam debate, which incidentally has been completely turned around. We lost Vietnam because the North Vietnamese were more determined and they had a lot of support in both North and South Vietnam. But if you listen to the interpretation now that's out there, it was the American people who lost Vietnam because they lost faith in a war that we were somehow winning and the Congress cut off the funding. It's absurd. But what I fear is that we're going to have exactly that debate about Iraq, and you can see the storyline developing. Here we were, yes, George Bush went into Iraq. He made mistakes, but finally in 2007 he found the right strategy, the surge. We had great success. We were on the verge of victory, and then the faithless American people elected President Barack Obama and a Democratic Congress, and they got out of Iraq, and the Iraq War was lost. And I could just see it, and that's why I have a chapter, Who Lost Iraq? To make clear, first, that the Iraq War is lost, and second, to assign responsibility where responsibility belongs, which is on George W. Bush. Not merely for the fact of the Iraq War, but how he conducted it and how he conducted the occupation.